Alright, Florida Department of Education, registered pre-apprenticeship training standards for program name, program number. These standard pre-apprentice include apprenticeship trade occupations, trade occupation program term, national, association, then industry code, Rapids code, ONET. Additional arrow, list sponsoring Florida Registered Apprenticeship entering Chapter 446, Florida Registered Apprenticeship Program name, program number, high school program, youth program, adult, LEA, education link, yes or no, OGT included, yes or no, registration, Florida Department of Education, Division of Career and Adult Education. Alright, definitions, conformance with state and federal laws. Section 1, registration of apprenticeship program, pre-apprenticeship program. Section 2, Program Administration and Pre-Apprenticeship Committee. Section 3, Responsibility of the Pre-Apprentice. Section 4, Maintenance of Pre-Apprenticeship Records. Section 5, Affirmation, Action, Equal Opportunity Pledge. Section 6, Adjusting Differences. Section 7, Amendment and Modification. Section 8, Notification. Section 9, Program Cancellation, Deregistration. Section 10, Pre-Apprenticeship Agreement. Section 11, Credit for Pre-Apprenticeship Completion. Section 12, Safety and Health Training. Section 13, Qualification Selection Procedures. Section 14, Certificate of Completion Pre-Apprenticeship Program. Section 15, Term of Pre-Apprenticeship. Section 16, Related Classroom Instruction. Section 17, Related Instruction Work Process Outline. Section 18, Ratio Pre-Apprenticeship. Section 19, Pre-Apprenticeship Wage Schedule. Section 20, Supervision Pre-Apprenticeship Work Hours of Work. Section 21, Participating Employers. Section 22, Work in Process on-the-Job Training. Section 23, Program Demographics, Official Adoption of Pre-Apprenticeship Standards. Alright, definitions. Alright, adult pre-apprentice means individual 25 years or older who is enrolled in the course of instruction directly related to the occupation of the standards of pre-apprenticeship and has entered into a pre-apprenticeship agreement with Florida Registered Apprenticeship Program sponsor. 2. Adult pre-apprenticeship program means an organized course of instruction where a majority of registered pre-apprenticeships are 25 years of age or older. It is designed to prepare adult apprenticeships to become an apprenticeship with the Federal Registered Apprenticeship Program, and the pre-apprenticeship program is registered with the department. Pre-apprenticeship participant who is 18 years of age or older may participate in adult pre-apprenticeship program as long as further pre-apprenticeship is not enrolled or in a public or private high school. Alright, 3. Apprenticeship to training representative means individual representative of the Florida Department of Education properly authorized to act of the department in matters concerning registered apprenticeship, pre-apprenticeship. 6A 230026 Florida Administration Code. Course title and number means secondary, post-secondary course with a program of study for within the pre-apprenticeship enrolled. 5. Completion certificate means the official document issued by the department to individual who has successfully completed the pre-apprenticeship as verified by the program sponsor. And 6A 230026 Florida Administration Code. Department means the Florida Department of Education, as in 446021112 Florida statute. High school performance means a student at least 16 years of age who is typically enrolled as a junior or senior or at a public or private high school, enrolled in a career technical education program and studying a series of high school courses which are directly related to occupation listed standards of pre-apprenticeship and has into the pre-apprenticeship agreement with the Florida Registered Pre-Apprenticeship Program sponsor. 8. High school pre-apprenticeship program means an organized career technical education program of study. A series of high school courses offered in public or private high school is designed to prepare a high school pre-apprentice to become an apprenticeship in the Florida Registered Apprenticeship Program and is registered with the department. Journey worker means a person who is working in an apprenticeship occupation who successfully completed a registered apprenticeship program who has worked on a number of years required with established industry practice for the occupation. Use of the term may also refer to mentor, technician, specialist, other skilled worker who has documented sufficient skills and knowledge of occupation through practical on-the-job experience and formal training. 6A23000217 Florida Administration Code. 10. Local education agency means a public board of education or a public authority legally constituted within the state or for either administration, control, direction of, or to perform services function for a public elementary schools, secondary schools, and school districts with the state of Florida. On-the-job training means a process by which apprenticeship or pre-apprentice acquires knowledge of the skills under supervision, tutelage, as an experience of journey worker with the apprenticeship to occupation registered with the department. On-the-job training is mentoring, training, and responsibility of sponsor or participating employer. 6A23000218 Florida Administration Code. Okay, your ONET code is the Occupational Information Network code, and titles are based on the system mandated with the Federal Office of Management budget for using calculating statistical information on occupation. 13. Participating employer means busy entity with is actively engaged by through its own employees in actual work occupation being apprenticed. Employers hire and pays the wages of the apprenticeship, pre-apprenticeship, or in the journey worker serving as qualified personnel training the apprentice. C. Evaluates the apprenticeship, pre-apprenticeship, and C. is signature party to collective bargaining agreement or signature to a participating employer agreement with a program sponsor which is registered with the department in 6A23000219 Florida Administration Codes. 14. Pre-apprenticeship agreement means a written agreement between the pre-apprenticeship and the pre-apprenticeship program sponsor containing the term and condition of the training incorporating the registered pre-apprenticeship standards as part of the agreement. 6A230102B Florida Administration Codes. 15. Pre-apprenticeship committee or committee means the same as the registered apprenticeship program sponsor committee or a group appointed by registered apprenticeship program sponsor committees or their designee. 6A230102C Florida Administration Code. Pre-apprenticeship sponsor means a Florida registered apprenticeship program authorized to offer the apprenticeship training. 6A230102 Florida Administration Code. 17. Pre-apprenticeship standards mean the minimum requirements established uniformly for their each occupation under the pre-apprenticeship program administrative that includes the standard of the mission, training goals, training objective, curriculum outlines, objective standards to measure successful completion of the pre-apprenticeship program and percentage of the credit that may be given the apprenticeship completers upon acceptance of the apprenticeship program. 6A230102F Florida Administration Code. Registration agency means the Florida Department of Education, which is responsible for registering pre-apprenticeship programs and pre-apprenticeship, provided the technical assistance conducting reviews for compliance and quality assurance assessments. 446.011 Florida statutes. 19. Related technical instruction, or RTI, means organized systematic form of an instruction designed to provide pre-apprentice with knowledge in theoretical technical subjects related to the occupation. Such instructions may be given in classroom through occupational industrial courses, correspondence courses, electronic media, other forms of self-study approved by the Department. 6A23000225 Florida Administration Codes. 20. Sponsor means any person, association, committee, or organization operating in an apprenticeship program in whose name the program is registered or approved. 6A23000226 Florida Administration Code. Alright, 21. Work processes means outline a journey worker supervised work experience on the job training with the allocation of approximate hours to be spent in each activity. 623000232 Florida Administration Code. 22. Youth pre-apprentice means an individual 16 years to 24 years of age who is engaged in course instruction directly related to the occupation listed in stand pre-apprenticeship and has entered the pre-apprenticeship agreement with the Florida Registered Pre-Apprenticeship Program. 23. Youth pre-apprenticeship program means an organized course of instruction with a majority registered pre-apprenticeship are 16 to 24 years of age. Is not offered at a public or private high school. Is designed to prepare youth pre-apprenticeship to become an apprenticeship in Florida Registered Apprenticeship Program. Pre-apprenticeship program is registered with the department. Conformance with the state and federal laws. Florida Department of Education Division Career and Adult Education Apprenticeship Program section is properly established and constituted under applicable state law as designated body for approval and registration pre-apprenticeship programs. Individual with a pre-apprenticeship agreements for the state purpose. These standard pre-apprenticeship will be conducted or operated and administered in accordance with all applicable provisions of Chapter 446 Florida Statute, Chapter 6823 Florida Administration Code, Title 29 Code Federal Regulations, Part 30. All relevant guidance standards issued for the Florida Department of Education Apprenticeship section. No selection of these standards shall be construed to permit violation of any law or regulation of the state of Florida or the United States. Section 1. Registration and Pre-Apprenticeship Program 6A230103F and H Florida Administration Code. These standards of pre-apprenticeship shall be submitted with the appropriate apprenticeship and training representative to be reviewed and forwarded to the department for approval and registration. Upon approval by the department, the pre-apprenticeship program must be renewed every 5 years. 3 of the original documents shall bear witness program registration evidence by certificate registration issued by Florida Department of Education. The program must actively train pre-apprenticeship with 1 year of the registration each occupation for which registration is granted. Programs occupations will go inactive, but it remains the same. No registered participant training occurring for more than 1 year shall be canceled by registration agency. Section 2. Program and Administration Pre-Apprenticeship Committee. Program sponsor responsible for the administration of all aspects of the pre-apprenticeship program. The sponsor will establish a pre-apprenticeship committee, carry out the responsibility of the duties required as described in the standards of pre-apprenticeship. The pre-apprenticeship committee shall be composed of at least blank member representative. The current list must provide with the department. The committee shall include the chairperson and a secretary. The committee shall meet blank as often necessary to conduct business. Responsibility of the sponsor. In addition to the section outlining the standard apprenticeship, the sponsor will make a concerted effort to afford opportunity for completion of the pre-apprenticeship program, to provide continual support of pre-apprentice to complete with the pre-apprenticeship program, prepare pre-apprenticeship for the entry, and to sponsor registered apprenticeship training programs, assure pre-apprenticeship employers have qualified journey workers to oversee and train pre-apprenticeship with on-the-job training incorporated into the program. 4. Arrange periodic evaluation of pre-apprenticeship, review progress, make recommendations as appropriate. 5. In general, be responsible for the successful completion, successful operation of the program and welfare of the pre-apprenticeship. Responsibility of the Pre-Apprenticeship Committee. In addition to the responsibility of the sponsor of the Pre-Apprenticeship Committee, will notify with the appropriate apprenticeship the training representative of all Pre-Apprenticeship Committee meetings, make available upon request the official minutes in such meetings, recommend changes in programs as deemed necessary to improve the effectiveness and efficiency. Section 3. Responsibility of the Pre-Apprenticeship 6A230104DF5 Florida Administration Codes. Learn prerequisite skills, knowledge, becoming an apprentice. 2. Work faithfully, diligent at the occupation. 3. Protect property of the employer, school, or program sponsor. 4. Respect and comply with all rules, regulations, and policies of the employer affecting on-the-job training if applicable. 5. Attend related instruction classes regularly. And 6. Successfully complete related instruction lessons, assignments, and assessment is required. Submit properly completed records, timely manner upon request. Keep accurate records of the work experience on the job training if applicable. Section 4. Maintenance of pre-apprenticeship records 6A230104J Florida Administration Codes. All pre-apprenticeship program records pertaining to the administration, selection, training, and employment of the pre-apprenticeship test scores, attendance records, transcripts, program evaluations, etc. should be in the sole maintenance responsibility of the sponsor and kept at the following address, which is the facility that provides governmental access for the auditing purposes as outlined in Chapter 119 of Florida Statute, Florida Public Records Law. Name of the site, address, state, zip, and code. Pre-apprenticeship program related to the records properties of the sponsor must be maintained for a period no less than 2 years from the date of last action. Must presented for the review when requested for the Department of Appropriate Apprenticeship and Training Representative. Section 5. Affirmative Action, Equal Opportunity 6A230104T Florida Administration Code. To provide equal opportunities, recruitment, selection, employment, training, and advancement of the minority and female pre-apprentice. Committee agrees to make the following affirmative action commitment. Disseminate corporate operation with the local educational agency applicable information to all applicants, students concerning with the nature of the pre-apprenticeship, available pre-apprenticeship opportunities, sponsor pre-apprenticeship applications, and the equal opportunity policy of the committee. Information with the disseminated with the government employment officer, service officers, local schools, local career, job fair events, women centers, outreach, principal programs, principal minority groups, women organization, community organization, which can effectively reach minority and women. This information is encouraged to also be published in local education agencies, school newspapers periodically, which are available to students and parents newspaper, which are circulated in minority communities among women as well as general areas in which the program sponsor operates. 2. Cooperate with local school boards, career pathway, education skill systems, develop programs for the preparing student to meet the standards criteria required to qualify at the entry of the pre-apprenticeship program, ultimately qualified for entry into the program-sponsored registered apprenticeship program. The recruitment, selection, employment, training, and pre-apprenticeship during their pre-apprenticeship shall be without discrimination based because of the race, color, religion, national origin, sex, including pregnancy and gender, identity, sexual orientation, genetic information, or because of the individual with a disability or a person 40 years or older. Pre-apprenticeship committee sponsors will provide equal opportunity in pre-apprenticeship. Will operate in pre-apprenticeship program as required in Title 29 Code Federal Regulations Part 30. Alright, Section 6, adjusting differences, 6A230104R and S, Florida Administration Codes. Case of dissatisfaction, partnership, and participating employer, if applicable, or the pre-apprenticeship has the right to a privilege appeal the pre-apprenticeship committee and sponsor for the corrective action adjustment concerning the standards of the pre-apprenticeship agreement for which written notification is received within 15 days of alleged dissatisfaction. Completion shall be written, signed by the complaint parent or guardian. If minor, must include the name and address, telephone number of the participating employer, if applicable, or the pre-apprentice, involve a brief description and circumstances concerning the standard of the pre-apprenticeship or the pre-apprenticeship agreement. The pre-apprenticeship commitment or the sponsor will locally must make such rulings it deemed necessary in each individual case within 30 days of the receipt of the written notification. Pre-apprenticeship committee and or sponsor will have the full authority to supervise enforcement of the standards. The decision will be binding the participating employer, if applicable, in the pre-apprentice. The department is available to consultation interpretation to assist in the resolve of the complaints of the participating employer, if applicable, or the pre-apprentice has about the pre-apprenticeship training program, the name and address for the appropriate authority to receive, process, and make disposition of complaint, is name of the contact, address, city, state, zip code, phone number, and email address. Or the participating employer, if applicable, the pre-apprenticeship provided notification by the pre-apprenticeship committee and sponsor not less than 5 business days notice of the date of the proposed adverse action stated opportunity participating employer, if applicable, the pre-apprenticeship during the such period of corrective action. Differences arise between local education agencies, if applicable, and the program sponsor involved in the program administration and or execution should draft the registration agency in writing for resolution adjustment of the decision. Section 7, amendments and modifications 6A230103 G4 and U of Florida Administration Codes. These standard pre-apprenticeship may be amended or modified at any time by the pre-apprenticeship committee or sponsor. Of such amendment, the modification must promptly be submitted with the department for their approval through the appropriate apprenticeship training representative. The copy of the amendment and or modification should adopt the furnished and pre-apprenticeship to whom the amendment and modifications apply shall not alter pre-apprenticeship agreements in effect with time of such change without express consent of all the parties to the agreement. Alright, Section 8, Notification 6A230104V, Florida Administration Code. The Department must notify within 45 days through the appropriate apprenticeship training representative of all actions affecting pre-apprenticeship as required for the action reporting form. 6.9, Program Cancellation Deregistration 6230104U, Florida Administration. Cancellation of the program may be effective with the voluntary action pre-apprenticeship committee sponsor must notify registration agency at appropriate apprenticeship training representative within 5 days for the writing of any decision to cancel the program. Deregistration of the program shall be upon written notice of the registration agency of the pre-apprenticeship committee sponsor stating cause for the institutional formal deregistration proceedings in accordance with the provision of Chapter 6230104 Florida Administration Code. Either event, the pre-apprenticeship committee and sponsor must notify all pre-apprenticeship within 15 days of the business days of the effective date that will deprive the pre-apprenticeship of the individual registration. Section 10, Pre-Apprenticeship Agreement 6230104 BMQ5F Florida Administration Codes. Prospective pre-apprenticeships have the right to opportunity to review, read, and obtain copies of the standards before they have signed with the pre-apprenticeship agreement. The pre-apprenticeship will be placed under a pre-apprenticeship agreement signed with the program sponsoring the pre-apprenticeship if the minor and their parent or the guardian. Pre-apprenticeship agreement incorporates the terms and conditions of the training. The pre-apprenticeship must be able to be terminated by mutual consent at any time and can be caused for due cause. In the case of the due cause, reasonable opportunity for corrective action may occur upon mutual agreement. Section 11, Credit for pre-apprenticeship completion 6A230102F2F Florida Administration Codes. Pre-apprenticeship committee and sponsor cooperation with the sponsoring apprenticeship program may be established percentage credit that may be given the pre-apprenticeship upon acceptance into a sponsoring apprenticeship program. Credit will be based on demonstrated skills and knowledge equivalent to those identified with the occupation standards apprenticeship. Decision to award, not award, how much credit to be awarded. Finally, sole discretion sponsoring apprenticeship commitment and participating employer sponsor pre-apprenticeship. Granted, credit will be advanced to the wage rate and related technical instruction level commensurate the amount of credited award. Section 12, Safety and Health Training, 6A230104CK, Florida Administration Codes. The program shall comply with the instruct the pre-apprenticeship and safety, health, full work practices, and shall ensure the pre-apprenticeship is trained in facilities or other environments that are in compliance with Title 29 Code of Regulation, Part 570, Federal Child Labor, 1L2 Florida Administration Code, State Child Labor, and Public Law 91596, Occupational Safety and Health Act. 13. Qualifications and Selection Procedure, 6A230104DL. 5. Florida Administration Code, 6A230114T. Minimum qualification required for the sponsor person entering pre-apprenticeship program must have the eligible starting age not less than 16 years of age. Pre-apprenticeship committee or sponsor may elect to require minimum age above 16 years old. Minimum qualification. The program is open to all applicants complete with a non-discriminatory basis. Age is required for the qualification required for the pre-apprenticeship committee sponsor for the performance person and entering pre-apprenticeship program is blank years. Physically on-the-job training is applicable. Applicant will be physically capable of performing essential functions of the occupation with or without reasonable accommodation, without posing a direct threat to health and safety of the individual or others. Additional minimal qualifications may be added. Selection procedure. Selection pre-apprenticeship of the program shall be with discrimination based race, color, religion, national origin, sex, including pregnancy and gender identity, sexual orientation, genetic information because they are individual with a disability or person over 40 years old or older. Applicable selection procedure for the program should be coordinated with the effort with the local education agency, if applicable, the pre-apprenticeship committee or program sponsor. You shall select apprenticeship for the qualified applicants using one or more of the following appropriate selection method examples. 1. Selection on the basis of rank of the pool eligible applicants. Pre-apprenticeship committee or sponsor may select pre-apprenticeship from a pool eligible applicants on base of the rank order of their scores on one or more qualification standards, whether the significant statistical relation between rank and order of scores and performance of the pre-apprenticeship program. 2. Random selection. Pool eligible applicants. Pre-apprenticeship committee or sponsor may select pre-apprenticeship from a pool eligible applicants on a random basis. Name of the pre-apprentice drawn by the method should be posted immediately following the selection by pre-apprenticeship committee and or program sponsor site. 3. Alternative selection methods. The pre-apprenticeship committee and sponsor may select pre-apprentice by any other method that includes its present selection method. Section 14, Certificate of Completion of the Pre-Apprenticeship, 6A230104W, Florida Administration Code. Upon satisfactory completion of the pre-apprenticeship program by the pre-apprenticeship established in the state of the pre-apprenticeship, and the pre-apprenticeship committee and sponsor will certify that the department request for the awarding certificate of completion pre-apprenticeship, completing pre-apprenticeship issued by the department. Section 15, Term of pre-apprenticeship, 6A230104X, Florida Administration Code. Overall length of the training program will determine the pre-apprenticeship will be realistic in terms of alignment. Most relevant to industries, but at no time shall be less than 6 months, and longer than 2 consecutive years. Assumed pre-apprenticeship shall be blank months. Section 16, Related Classroom Instruction, 6A230104D4, Florida Administration Codes. Pre-apprenticeship register under the training standards will be required to attend complete subjects related to the occupation which they are obstructive. The pre-apprenticeship program linked to the school district or state college include course title, course number after each school. Secondary, post-secondary education will be conducted at school name, school address, name, program name, and number, CIP number, course and name, add additional sections as needed basis. Section 17, Related Instruction Work Process Outline, Related Instruction Outline, Occupation Trade, Program Name, Program Number, Course Name, CIP Number, Related Instruction, add additional rows, columns needed to duplicate this section for each occupation. Work process on the job outline, job training outline. Remove it on the job if it's not present for occupational trade. Work pressure process schedule approximate hours, total maximum hours, additional rows and columns needed with a basis duplicate section for each occupation. The following section only apply with a pre-apprenticeship program with on-the-job training. Remove the sections on the on-job if it is not applicable. Alright, Section 18, Ratio of Pre-Apprenticeship 623.010 E4 EFG, Florida Administration ensure that the adequate supervision, training, submission, safety, continuity, employment of the job site with a pre-apprenticeship community shall ensure that the pre-apprenticeship placed on any job site would be under the direct supervision. Journey worker shall be responsible for the pre-apprenticeship community to ensure that the allowable ratio of the apprentice to pre-apprenticeship of the journey worker is maintained, not exceeded into the intent in the program as a whole by a participating employer on the job site. Under no circumstances shall an apprenticeship supervise an apprentice. Under no circumstances shall apprentice supervise a pre-apprentice. For construction-related program, the ratio of pre-apprentice for the journeyman workers shall not exceed 1 pre-apprentice for each participating employer. All employing 1 journeyman shall not exceed 2 pre-apprenticeship or apprentices, or any combination thereof of every 3 journey workers beyond the first journey worker. For no non-construction related program, the ratio of pre-apprenticeship to apprenticeship of the journeyman worker will be established by the pre-apprenticeship committee. Allowable ratio of the participating employer with the pre-apprenticeship shall not exceed the pre-apprenticeship to any of the combination thereof of the journeyman workers. Section 9, Pre-Apprenticeship Wage Ratio 623.0104 D6 Florida Administration Codes. Participating employer agreed to pay not less than minimum wage prescribed for in the Fair Labor Standards Act of Florida State statutes, and the wage rate to be paid with a pre-apprenticeship by participating employer is blank per hours. Section 20, Supervision Pre-Apprenticeship and Hours of Work, 6A 23.0104A Florida Administration Code. Pre-apprenticeship engaged on the job training shall be under the direct supervision of the journeyman worker. However, the work of the pre-apprentice shall be the same as those of the journeyman worker in occupation covered by these standards for the conformity of the state and federal laws. Assigning work to the pre-apprentice, however, due to the categorization, will be given the variety of operations necessary to develop occupational skills. Pre-apprenticeship is played with the Davis Beacon federally financed assisted construction project cannot receive a certification payment of wages less than required for the working with tools or trade. Overtime on the job training will not interfere with attendance at a related instruction class, secondary level high school classes, or classes leading to awarding high school diploma or equivalent certificate. Alright, Section 21. Participating employers, 623.0104H1. Pre-apprenticeship committee shall determine how many qualified journey workers are in the employment of each participating employer not to violate specified ratio. Each employer will sign a participating employer agreement with a program sponsor accepting the requirements for the program standards for agreement that immediately provided the committee location of each pre-apprenticeship work site. The pre-apprenticeship agreement shall contain the employer's current contact information. The employer shall notify the program of any changes in this information. Listing of participating employers to be kept current as follows, and then additional rows as needed. Section 22, Work Process on the Job Training, 6A 23.0104 D6 Florida Administration Codes. All instances approved of the participating employer will provide with a pre-apprenticeship adequately supervised instruction work experience, or of which a record will be kept periodically evaluated per the work of the process on job learning on the training outline included at the end of these standards. Such training shall be in trade. Specifically registering these standards work experience will provide approximately the number of the hours shown, not necessarily in order shown. In no time shall the pre-apprenticeship wages be less than Fair Labor Standard Act by Florida statutes. Section 23, Program Demographics, jurisdictional area covered by the program counties, total journey workers employed with a participating employer in the occupation. C, total pre-apprenticeship. C, D, total minority apprenticeship. E, total female pre-apprenticeships. Official adoption of the program pre-apprenticeship standards, program name and address, phone number and email, chairperson, secretary, committee members, print name, title, member, secretary, member, signature authority for the committee, name, type, and print signature and title and affiliation, reviewed by apprenticeship training representative, date, Authorized official local education agency date. Florida Department of Education Division Career Adult Education Apprenticeship. Authorized official registration agency date. Testing.